Welcome to HAH Bridge Cars. So I've been working on the transmission tunnel, and this is going to be a big surprise to everybody, but it was dented and rusty. Hey, and it also had a lot of stress fractures in it, which I think is because, particularly the driver's side of the car, the bulkhead and the rocker weren't connected to the floor anymore. So that whole side of the car could actually move, and obviously it was still on the frame, but I think that a lot of the forces that should have gone into the rocker boxes and stuff didn't. And the transmission tunnel was the connection between the front and the back of the car at that point. Anyway, I've been doing welding for a couple of days and cleaning and taking the bends out. And there was a lot of holes in it that it looks like they added screws to try to pull it down tight or something. I'm not sure exactly what. It was disconnected from the car when I got the car, and that was 30 years ago, so I don't hardly remember what it looks like. Anyway, so I've been welding and stuff. I thought I'd let you take a look. I was getting ready to put some paint on it today, so let's go take a look. I pickled it the other day and I've sanded it off lightly, so that's why it's kind of funny colors right now. But there was a giant hole in here cut quite roughly, which is, I expect somebody was working on the overdrive solenoid at some point in time, so I've repaired that. This was bent. This was fractured in half here, so I added this bracing to the top. I thought I was going to put a big piece. I thought I was going to put a piece in, and might as well put a long one in, and went, across most of the way over. Uh, this was all dented up. This was cracked in half right here. So I welded that back together. There was a notch there, and then there were a series of holes along the bottom here. You can't really see them now, and 4 or 5 holes around. This is where the speedometer cable comes out. Another part here where it was broken in half. You can see how pitted that is, but it should be all right. So it was quite a bit of work, but at least I could do it up on the sawhorses, so it wasn't crawling around on the ground and not underneath the car, and it wasn't horribly dirty. It's the inside cleaned up pretty well. It wasn't too oily, surprisingly enough. Of course, it's been 30, 40 years since anything was running on this car. I suppose it could have just dissipated. You can see the bottom of where I welded this up. That's the inside of that patch. Spot welded all those plates on the flanges. So today's project is I'm going to wipe it down and then get it in primer. And then I think I'm just going to go ahead and paint it red. I'm not sure they were painted body color at the factory. This one was just rusty when I took it apart. So that's one thing I noticed too, that if they glue like undermatting to it, the glues, or at least the glues back then, they take any paint on that was on it off, particularly if it just, a lot of this stuff just has like one thin coat of black on it, like the generators and stuff like that, and that paint comes off really fast. Oh, it was cracked here too. Anyway, I'm gonna get the paint gun out and shoot this. So it's a little rough. See a little bit of pitting there. And of course you can still see where I welded the bits in, but it gets, glue and under padding on it, so I'm not that worried about it. Oh, time to put on color paint. It's a lot prettier in red, don't it? I like it. So the other thing I like to do with these is line the interior with this Mylar bubble insulation. I usually do it in pieces just because it's just a lot easier, but it's such an unusual shape. Obviously, that's only about maybe 12 or 18 inches back there, and this is more like 3 feet. So, it'd be pretty tough to make one piece stretch into here, but you just got one piece glued in, and I'm using a little piece of scrap here. It just goes in and just lay it in and touch it. and there it is. And then you wind up using little pieces, do up all the little bits and pieces. It doesn't have to be super good. You're really just knocking the heat back from the engine. So the other thing we need to do is to install the rubber seal for the transmission. And I got to be honest, it probably would have been easier to do that first. Not that it's that much of a deal. A little bit less messy maybe. So this is just comes in a roll and cut to fit. It's basically just flat. And then once it's in place, I've just been cutting out the holes for the bolts with my knife. And then to come around this really sharp corner, I'm getting ready to put this strip in, but I cut a notch in it so it'll be able to fold. And I left about 1/4 of an inch on the outside edge intact because that'll probably stretch in okay. But to bend this, what is this stuff, 1 1/4 inch, it would really stretch it and it would probably just come loose with that constant tension on this rubber cement. So anyway, don't forget that you got to come around and also do that loop and then this flat. And then in the back here, you got to make sure you wrap it down far enough so that you can catch it where these bolts go through sideways here. And then I've cut out the holes for all the various things. Shifter, grease point for the front U-joint. That's for the dipstick in the transmission. This is where the overdrive wires come through. And there's a small hole here, which is for that drain that comes out of the battery box. Anyway, and that's it. And here it is, all done. Various plugs in place. Holes cut for the bolts to hold it down. The holes are cut for all the bolts through the rubber. And it's fully lined. I've been putting the Mylar in for about 20 years now. It is amazing how much difference it makes. And of course, we'll put underfelt under the carpet here to help as well. One thing I was really surprised, look at the distance from, this is the last bolt, the vertical, the next horizontal. Boy, it's about 16, 17 inches. I really expected there to be a bolt here. I know on the fiberglass, or what would have been cardboard covers at the time, there's bolts, every 5 or 6 inches all the way along, because this is a lot more rigid being steel, but still, it's a long way to go. Oh well. Of course, designed in England where it never rains, so I suppose they're not worried about water getting in. And the plug for the dipstick in the transmission is the same plug as the one for the greasing the universal joint, so that was easy. And we'll also put in a grommet. This is for the overdrive wires. And this gets a rubber hose through it, so I guess it doesn't have a seal because the hose just barely fits. So I hope you enjoyed all that. It was kind of an easier one today. No grinding, no welding, no painting, not even any torque wrenching. So don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and comment, and we'll see you next time.